since I had already learned my first word, as I continued on my quest to learn the next word. It wasn't chopsticks, since I figured that I could pretty much motion that one and get it figured out. But I did at least learn to eat with chopsticks, and it's a good thing I did too, because most places did not have a fork at all. Usually the best thing that they could offer was a spoon. So no, actually my next word was instead hello. I thought that I should at least not be considered a rude American by not saying hello to people. Fortunately, I had a friend who explained the sounds as ni, hao, but said that I'd have to work on the pitch that I said the sounds with. And then there were those hand motions again. Ni, hao, ni, hao. So I worked really hard and was finally able to say hello correctly, about 75% of the time. Now teaching my family was another story. At least it helped me to learn it even better. Learning Chinese is such an adventure. And then the big day came. Arriving in Hong Kong and seeing the sights before going to mainland China was incredible. But I sure am glad that the person who picked me up spoke English and could get me to where I was staying. From that time on, I started learning the sounds of the Chinese alphabet, also known as pinyin. But I have to say, the more I learned, the more confusing Chinese became. In one way, it made things a lot simpler because I could recognize the sounds that people were saying. But in another way, it was more confusing because the same sounds were being said but in a totally different context and meant something totally different. Imagine hearing the same thing, well, at least to you it sounds like the same thing, but then realizing that it's not at all the same. Crazy. Here, I'll give you an example. Ah, 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 ah. Could you tell the difference between those four different same sounds, but all with different tones? Then came the real hurdle. Here I was applying all of the sounds that I had learned, using the new vocabulary that I was learning, only to find no one could understand what I was saying. I would say one sentence, and people would ask me to repeat it, and I would. Then they would ask me if I meant XYZ, by pointing to something, drawing pictures, or trying to repeat back to me very slowly what they thought I was saying. Believe me, this is not the life you want to be living, after spending more than 100 hours studying the language. This was driving me crazy. How could I still be at this place after taking so much time already to learn the language? Was learning Chinese even worth it? Was it even possible? If it is, then how can I do it? And then, one day, a miracle happened. Find out about it in part 3 of my journey.